Welcome back to the Hockey Shop, source for sports out here in Surrey, British Columbia, the suburbs of Vancouver. For those of you who don't get to join us in person, make sure you check them out at thehockeyshop.com and all their social media channels. I'm back down in Goalie Utopia with Cam Matwiv with the Warrior RX2 Pro Pant. Cam, this is a pant that has evolved since I last had a Warrior pant on. It's been a while since we've tested sort of that original Ritual line. But we were big fans of that, me in particular, for a couple of reasons. The inner belt, that attached sort of inside seam so that when you squeeze the legs shut, the front of the pant actually forms a brick wall. Never going to be legal in the NHL, but man, does it provide a lot of coverage. And sort of the mobility underneath that wall. Like there's a lot of room to move in this pant. So I always loved that it was mobile out of the box, that big square appearance it presented out front, and good protection in the front of the leg and the inner belt. It's evolved. Walk me through some of the evolution, some of the features, what people like about this pant.
I mean, you kind of nailed it right there. I mean, we should roll credits. That's it.
Later.
See you later. No, there is some differences between this and the older model, but you did highlight quite a few, like some of the best features of the pant. I would say like coverage and protection would probably be the key highlights of this pant in particular. Like you can see it as you're sitting, and also you can feel it, and it's quite a thick pant, especially in the thigh. You're not going to be worried about getting stingers through this pant.
Yeah, it's got to be like an inch thick protection along that
very, very solid molded foam piece. Very, very protective, and also very wide, like you called out earlier. Like you said, you put your legs together. I mean, I think I took a tape measure, and it's almost 14 inches wide, which is way past NHL legal.
This is like 80s goalie pads when they used to back the truck over them to get them nice and flat and wide. Like it really does. And we've talked about this before, but that flat face and then the inner seam sort of that goes in between your legs when you close your legs in a butterfly, it's a fixed seam. So it's not a seam that has movement to it. So when you close that inside seam, the pants literally snap flat across as opposed to the rounded, tapered, legal look of other pants. Again, to me, all that means is that, sometimes you'll have one that goes off your rounded pants and it'll leak through a seam under your arm. This just forms a straight, flat wall that I would say more likely you're going to have pucks come back out in front of you rather than leak through you.
Yeah, or you can catch them against the actual pant wall itself, depending on your play style and whatnot. So yeah,
it's like a blocker board. It's so big.
It almost is. It really almost is. As you kind of move up the pant, you start to see there's some of their segmented protection in terms of how it actually molds itself. Two very nice thick hip pads, basically, that aid in flexibility for the pant itself. But also cover that kind of sometimes tender area when it comes for pants wise, in terms of the gap that they sometimes have between the actual thigh block and the hip protection itself.
Well, and I love that it's kind of three segments. You got your front pant leg, you've got those blocks that are sort of over the front of the hips, and then a third segment attached to the barrel goes around the outside of the hip. So again, takes away some of those seams that can leave gaps in other pants.
Correct. It's basically you're walling up all of those areas that can be exposed, and you're not hindering mobility by doing it either with the way that they've segmented that protection. So great call out, and also an awesome feature, again, looking for protection in that upper hip area.
Okay, so inner belt, I noticed that, like I said, it's almost like it's built into the pant, but it's now removable. So
Correct.
Not everyone loves inner. I'm obviously a big fan of inner belts. Again, that ability to sort of cinch the pad on the inside and still have that max width on the outside, that barrel effect that the NHL's made illegal, but for the rest of us, it has a lot of value, both in terms of mobility, comfort, fit, but also just size. You get to look bigger. You're not making the pants smaller when you cinch in the waist. So, but in this case, and like I said, not everyone loves it. It looks like this inner belt is removable. Pretty simple procedure.
That's correct. So to kind of rewind back just a little bit of like who this pant's for and what it does. This is one of those pants that truly can both be worn tuck and untuck and excel at both too as well. With regards to that inner belt, it's basically just Velcroed in on the back side of it. And we can pull it right out once we take out the actual buckles themselves, which just pull out through those nylon clasps there. Quick, easy in and out. I would personally, myself, probably end up taking it out because I do like to tuck in. I don't like that interference on feeling anything when I do tuck in. So I would pull it right out. For those that don't tuck in, the pant itself really tapers in against the waist as soon as you pull on that outer waist belt. So allows a good integration for that chest over top of the pant.
I've actually got it cinched up pretty good already, but you can see how quickly you can tighten that up, or if you want to loosen it up and just let it sit nice and big and wide, because as you know, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. But we can see, those of you who are watching on the simulcast video, you can just see how when you close those legs, that pant just forms a nice big wide. And of course, we're 2 months in now of doing the simulcast video. So make sure you check those out on Instagram, IGTV. Also at YouTube in the show notes with the podcast, we usually post a YouTube link or actually embed the YouTube into the actual page on the InGoalMag.com website. Links from the show notes on iTunes and other places, podcast providers. So make sure you check out the simulcast. It's kind of sad actually today. Once again, I'm the one doing the dress up. Cam isn't, which sucks because this pant feels so thick and protective in the front. I'd really like to try punching you to see if it actually, if you can feel it. And yet there's clearly no way I'm allowing you to punch me, so we're not going to get to do that this week. But Cam, thank you so much. Great to be back in Goalie Utopia this week. Thanks for walking us through the Warrior Pants, the Warrior Pant line, and all the pant lines that you have in stock here at the Hockey Shop and thehockeyshop.com. If anybody has any questions on fit in particular, like you said, it's not just a matter of how this pant's going to fit me, but how's it going to integrate to my knee pads? How's it going to integrate to my chest protector? How do all those elements work together? Where can they get you with those questions?
And they can give us a call at 604-589-8299. And here's the 1-800 number. Somewhere here.
One day we're going to make him actually memorize it. Okay, thanks, Cam. Great to be back at the Hockey Shop. Check them out at thehockeyshop.com.
Thanks, Kevin.